on to another story. Now, Donald Trump says that US and India will continue trade negotiations. That's despite rising tensions over his steep tariffs. Now, in a Truth Social post, Trump called Prime Minister Narendra Modi a very good friend and said that he expects talks to reach successful conclusion in the weeks ahead. Now, the remarks mark a softer tone after Trump previously blasted the relationship as one-sided and claimed that America had lost India to China.
At the same time, Trump is also pushing Europe to take a hard line on Moscow by targeting Beijing and New Delhi, according to US and European Union officials. Trump urged the European Union to impose tariffs of up to 100% in China and India, arguing that both nations keep Russia's economy afloat by buying its oil. The US signaled it would be watching such tariffs if Brussels agreed. The move would mark a major shift in for European Union, for which has relied on sanctions over tariffs to pressure Putin. My colleague Sumita is joining us. Sumita, what do you think Trump means when, one side he is reaffirming his friendship with India and saying that he wants a trade deal, but on the other hand, he's threatening 100% tariffs?
Absolutely, Ankita. New day, new Donald Trump tweet, and essentially it is Donald Trump himself who only knows what he really means when he puts out those tweets. But if we look at the softening of tone with respect to Donald Trump, this is not the first time. In fact, just a couple of days back, over the weekend, he stated that Prime Minister Modi is a great friend. He's a great Prime Minister of India, and the fact that India-US ties is nothing to worry about. They are on good footing. That message was also acknowledged by the Indian Prime Minister, which marked the Indian Prime Minister's first tweet addressing Donald Trump himself. And he acknowledged the fact that India-US ties are on solid footing. So you have Donald Trump softening his stance on the one hand. And remember, India has been reiterating, in fact, the MEA and along with the Commerce Minister as well, both the sides have stated that we are engaged with the United States on several diplomatic levels. We are engaged with them on other levels as well. But this is Donald Trump for the first time acknowledging that negotiations are continuing between the United States of America and India to address any trade barriers. That shows keenness and willingness on his part to negotiate a trade deal, given the fact that the last round of talks that was supposed to happen on August 25th, it did not happen on account of the elevated tariffs that were imposed by Donald Trump, 50% tariffs. Right. The other important thing to note as far as his tweet is concerned, he says that I feel certain there will be no difficulty in coming to a successful conclusion for both our great countries. Now, remember, just a couple of days back, Minister Piyush Goyal, the Commerce Minister, stated that that India is perhaps hoping for the conclusion of the first tranche of the bilateral trade agreement by fall, as both the leaders had discussed and decided upon. So it will be interesting to see whether the kind of tweets that he's putting out, it actually leads to actual negotiations happening in India. And will Donald Trump be okay with India standing firm on not opening up some of its sectors, and that includes agri, dairy and GM crops? That is one thing. But on the other hand, like you rightly stated, he is pushing European Union to slap 100% tariffs on India and China. This is coming in at a time when European Union team is currently in India to negotiate the 13th round of talks. 13th round of talks are happening in the country right here on EU-India FTA. So this is his way of pressurizing the European Union. However, all the countries are sovereign. They're not going to sort of toe the line of Donald Trump.
Correct. So slightly mixed signals coming in there. Thank you, Sumita, for taking us through all those details, and we'll keep you posted with all of that. Sumita has been tracking this story, and she'll be updating us there. But moving